Hi, I'm Clarence Richard. I developed a training program 25 years ago, and through continuous improvement, it has evolved very effectively using this new tool called Zoom to present the great curriculum we have developed over the last 25 years. We launched this new Zoom workshop and could not be happier with the results. Let me read you a survey from the plant manager that Tom and his crew attended. Listen to the answers to the questions we ask about our performance. Thomas is the plant manager for several years with a New Jersey asphalt company. This is how he answered our survey. Tom, indicate how strongly you agree or disagree with the following statement. Accessing the training was clear and easy to use. Tom chose to agree to that. Tom also chose to agree to his learning expectations for this workshop were met. He also agreed to that it will help him perform his job better after taking this workshop. Then we asked Tom about payback. Considering your time, the workshop registration fee, and the benefits your company will experience in improvements in safety, mixed quality, production, and operating costs. How long will it take for the benefits to pay for the cost of you being educated? Tom chose a 2 week. 2 weeks he's expecting that to be paid back. I hope that caught your attention with that 2 week payback. We have had people experience it, give it away a 1 week payback. So, what are you waiting for? Let's start making some money just by change procedures. Let me show you around our website. Well, this is our website. We are not a Me Too company. We invent continuous weight instruments for applications that need closer measurement than what is available. And we developed asphalt plant operation workshops for people not having access to the complete picture. We take the things that affect your operating costs and personnel safety and your reputation and collaborate with people to get the best result. Hi, thanks for stopping by our training webpage. This is the team that brings this plant workshop to you. This is what this guy looked like 25 years ago when he first started classroom training all over North America. And that evolved into web-based training, and from that point, we are doing online Zoom training, instructor-led, and that is going over very well. Notice that we have red safety days, green mixed quality days, and black production days. You can do those things individually, just one day at a time, or for a special deal, we'll give you three of them for the price of only $9.95. That gives you your plant operation workshop. Then you get electromechanical days on what it takes in order to electromechanically maintain your equipment. Good workshop. And let's talk about the bottom line. This is what bean counters like to do all the time. Notice that some people give this a 1 week payback, and 2 out of 3 of those people giving a 1 week payback were 10-year veterans. Here we had 3 people out of 25 participants giving this a 1 week payback. I think those are pretty high marks. You can take that to the bank anytime. And here we are. This is what you see. It's just a few pages. We start out with your company information and your payment and billing address, all that kind of stuff. Then we got some areas in here to be adding your people that want to participate. Notice all we're looking for is the participant name, the phone number, the email, and their title. And then you go down there to the course description and pick out what you want to do. So you can have any particular day, or you can do a 3 day or a 5 day or a 2 day. Just depend on how you want to mix and match. Notice the modules there are coded with different P numbers. Those are their module numbers. And these are the prices there for those particular modules you want to take. You can add more people to this as you can see right here. Again, here is our calendar that you can take a look at that as well. Notice the days are color coded. Red, green, black, and also purple for the electrical. That is a part of the key here on what you're going to be seeing to easily figure out what you're getting. Notice the first one we got all 3 colors: safety, mixed quality, and production. That makes a plant operation workshop. Safety around the asphalt plant, and what affects mixed quality at the asphalt plant, and what affects production at the asphalt plant, as well as the operating costs. So you get that all there with the plant operation workshop. Then you can start to work there with the electrical troubleshooting. And that's a 2 day workshop. You can see that that's in purple. Notice that the color coding on our different modules, as we're explaining them, we go down. So this is what is going to fall in place with the different days you'll be getting. So this is all quite self-explanatory on what you're going to be getting for your people. So I hope to see you there. Thank you very much. Information, we're going to do this as an instructor led, so it's not self-paced. So we get to go through this together and see how you guys are working on that. And as I tell everybody that this is your class. This is stop. I want to know more about this thing right here. And so then we're going to stop and dwell on that. And we can easily do that. We got plenty of time for that. This is production day, and we're going to do everything we can to do what we can to get our production up at the plant as the highest we can. So if demand is there, that we can still continue to uh, to run very efficiently and with the highest production possible. And so consequently, we're going to be talking about things that consume energy. And we're also going to be talking about things that, and some of those things that consume energy is driving off moisture out of your aggregate and also heating up that rock and heating up that asphalt oil. And So those things there all have a lot to do with how fast your plant can produce. So we'll keep up with that. We're going to go through that. We're going to talk about your burner. We're going to talk about the fuels that you use and how much energy. We'll even talk about if you want to tune up your burner or want to watch someone tune up your burner and be looking over the shoulder as they do it. Then you too can be an input on getting the best production possible. And so we teach you how to do that. Uh, the bag houses, just how you operate those can affect your production. This is so the aggregate drawing, how it actually happens, and what's the best way to operate your plant. Operating your plant has a lot to do with you guys saving energy. So that's about for my perspective as far as I work with David. We also build custom control systems, but we also have invented these things called flow scales. You pour material through them, and we will weigh it on the fly. It's like a belt scale, but when you can't use a belt scale, we can do this continuous weighing stuff. Both AJ and Philip, it's always nice that they kind of pipe in and tell us about some of the practical experiences they have. Maybe AJ will be able to show up. I believe he's going to. So anyhow, Steve, why don't you ask these guys about their plants?
All right, Kobe, what type of fuels and such do you burn on your plant?
It's propane. That's what we
It-
burn.
As a liquid, correct?
Yes.
Austin, what do you burn?
I burn natural gas.
Ken, what do you handle in your plant?
We burn waste oil.
And Rob, what have you
Natural
got?
gas.
Natural gas, okay.
So we got like all three, gas, LP, and heavy fuels. So uh, each of those have got a whole different uh, way of handling them. And Steve is an expert at that. So anyhow, as we go through this, you'll get to understand that. Please continue. Things I'd like to ask him, Steve, is I would like them to think ahead of time about what temperatures that they are running to their through their plant. This gives us an idea how efficiently you are working. Just think of that oil heater that you're seeing right there. That's a stack. If you had a really high temperature stack versus a low temperature stack, which stack do you think is running more efficiently? Well, you don't want those high temperatures. You're just puking a whole bunch of heat out into the air and atmosphere and heating that up. So the cooler that is, the better you're at as far as efficiency at your plant. So keep an eye on the temperature around your plant tells you some stories. And we're going to go through those stories on how that works. But a couple of things you should be keeping in mind right up front all the time. What is my stack temperature at the exit temperature? And what is my dryer exit temperature or my baghouse input temperature? That one right there, the crossover. What's that temperature? And then you will be comparing that to your mix temperature. But those are three things there that you have to kind of watch how those things move up and down. That gives you an idea what's happening in your plant and how efficient you are. And as those start changing, um, they might be, and your production goes down, well, then you can start to equate what's going on there. So we're going to try to make you instrument rated so that you understand how to read your instruments and uh, and and correct accordingly. Like an airline pilot, he's always looking at his instruments. Well, you've got them too, and if you understand that process, like he understands that plane, uh, you'll get the highest efficiency with the highest production. So the boss is happy, and the climate activists are happy as well. Uh, so
Also, as you go along, make sure you're noting other things about the plant. Are you having a lot of haul trucks one day? What's the weather like? So when you're running that mix again on another day and you don't have quite the same results, is there a logical reason for it right away? You know, like maybe I've got half the haul trucks. That's how come we can only ship half as much? Or is the weather? Had a real hard frost today, and the last time I ran this mix was the middle of July, and it was hot as blazes. All those things will affect. Okay, any questions, anybody, before we get started on burners?
Nope.
keep in mind, we're going to be playing with those numbers as we're going through here, and that was to give you an idea how efficiently you're running. And if it starts to get inefficient, then you should start doing something about it. It's just a continuous thing as you're continuously updating, maintaining, and if you do that, you're going to be keeping your equipment in good shape while you're getting the best production possible. That's all I got. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right, guys, and away we go.
Hot oil heating and asphalt storage. Asphalt oil and components in the plant are heated by several different methods.
Choose all that
Hot
apply.
oil piping installation. Let's go with Justin. Does it save you money if you insulate the pipes?
Yes.
Does a smaller heater possibly do the job of a larger one then?
Yes.
Do you save energy?
Yes.
Reduce emissions?
Um, yes.
The correct
Well, we
answer
gave that one to you. It does reduce the maintenance costs
You gotta say yes anyway. Yes.
and protects the personnel from being burned. Installation's a bad idea. I can get somebody to say yes to that. That's the guy that's selling you diesel fuel for your hot oil heater. He thinks installation's a way bad idea because he can't sell you as much oil.
Yeah, those all kind of make sense.
A, B, C, D, E, and
Especially
G.
G. Anybody that's ever bumped up against the hot oil pipe at the plant will know that G is true.
Yep.
Agitation of stored liquid in tanks. Heated tanks have a natural convection current as the asphalt cement heats and cools.
Yep, I see oh, you want me to look in my book?
Yep, please do.
Unloading and plant pumps must be fitted with this option. This option is sold as a kit by most all pump manufacturers and can be easily field retrofitted.
Please notice that on that cover that is a jacketed release valve, that it is heated. So it will continue to work even when oil goes through it.
And that's the end of that paragraph of slide 42.
All right, now
And
here
plant
we've
down-
got the hoses hanging. You can see the one in the upper part of the picture, how well that would drain back. The one down here in the lower part, it looks like it might have a kink in it where they should have hauled up the pipe there just a little bit further. Another thing to remember here is to make sure you've got a cap on the end of the hose, be it a tin can or a actual like cam lock plug to keep moisture out.
Time concerns dictate tools and procedures to aid in good housekeeping. Hang the hose, wipe down the connections. Make sure the line is clear before hooking the hose to the truck. Wear proper PPE equipment. As a plan B, Keep a feed trough full of water nearby to drench people whenever equipment fails or whenever people do not follow procedures.
As a plan B, keep a feed trough full of water nearby to drench people whenever equipment fails or whenever people do not follow procedures. What is plan A? Choose all that apply.
All right, Justin, which ones do you want to pick?
This module explains the combustion process, some of the different burners on the market and the fuels they use, and the many concerns about controlling and caring for such a dangerous and important process. Plant management should understand that the average conditions mean 5% aggregate moisture at 300-degree mix, use 275,000 BTUs or fuel per ton. Fuel consumption should be checked regularly. Oil is about 140,000 BTUs a gallon, propane about 90,000 BTUs a gallon, and natural gas is 1,000 BTUs a cubic foot. Fuel consumption is about 2 gallons per ton for oil, 3 gallons per ton for propane, and 275 cubic feet for natural gas. Waste and heavy oils require an inline heater. Consuming too much fuel wastes money and causes low production. Material falling through the flame causes incomplete combustion. Most burners do not have limit switches on their fuel firing rate valves and air dampers. See Module 2, Safety Interlocks.
BTUs per gallon and gas BTUs per cubic foot. Which is correct?
Okay, Austin, did you happen to remember that?
See, so gas was about 1,000 BTU. So A, that'd
That
be right.
sounds good to me. And for propane, it's right around 90,000 for a rule of thumb. Fuel oil is actually 138 if it's diesel, but that will vary as to what exact fuel you have.
The correct answer is A. Fuel 140,000 BTUs per gallon and gas 1,000 BTUs per cubic foot.
Fuel and fuel atomization. Good atomization is probably the most important factor involved in achieving good combustion, especially when burning liquid fuels. All fuels, without exception, must be in a vapor or gaseous state before they can burn. Burner tune-up expectations. Improved performance. Low fire stability without overheating the baghouse. Output at 100% burner close to faceplace rating. Controller maintaining stable temperatures in the automatic mode. Keeping up to 25% of your drying costs may go up the stack. Reduce excess air at burners. Evaluate stack temperature and dryer fighting. Assure complete combustion. Improving safety. Analyzers detect unburned fuel. Solve flame stability problems. Verify motor proper burner operations. Environmental stewardship by reducing greenhouse gases. Burners are sources of many problems that could irritate neighbors.
If your company does not want to own an analyzer, you may be able to talk them into renting one, such as from Rayco Rents, R-A-C-O rents.com. That way you would have a analyzer that's been calibrated. You can use it for a week or so and send it back to them.
Mix producers should own and operate their own combustion analyzer. Mix producers spend hundreds of thousands of dollars at each plant. They have the most to gain by controlling for the highest production and least operating costs. Subcontracting that task out without having a say in how things are adjusted is a bad business decision. Analyzing and adjusting in-house gives you control. Download the Tuning Your Plant for Optimum Efficiency PDF, which justifies this small expense to the financial controller.
Natural gas. Burner control and damper control are placed in manual. The exhaust fan damper is adjusted for more air and the mix temperature goes up 20 degrees. The air to fuel ratio was excessively too rich or excessively too lean.
All right, guys. Which way do we think that was?
Set up the scenario. Steve, set it up.
Ken, you've been running the plant and we've got everything running good. We're locking it down And now we're increasing the air flow through the plant. And the temperature goes up. Before, when we started, were we running too rich or too lean?
You're muted, Ken. Ken, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Spacebar. He doesn't have a spacebar.
Okay, I unmuted. We'd have been running too rich on the fuel. Since adding more air created more heat, that means we're burning up fuel that wasn't getting burnt before.
That is
So
correct.
A.
Good.
The correct answer is A. The air to fuel ratio was excessively too rich.
Can you stop again, Steve?
That was quite a
Since it was too rich and you turned it up and your temperature goes up, your mix temperature goes up as well too, doesn't it?
Yes, it should follow.
So now your mix temperature is too hot. Then what are you going to do?
We're gonna back down on the fuel.
So now your burner position might be going from 50% to 45%. Now you're at a lower burner position than you were before, and you're heating up the same amount of material with the same temperature. So you can see that how you're saving it is that you are now too hot. Now you're too hot, you're going to bring down your firing rate, and that means you're going to be using less fuel, and that was a good move. So that's the connection I want you guys to make, is that look at what you did. You open up your damper, it went too hot. Now you turn down your burner. This is this is instrument rated, and you guys are taking corrective action for it. Thank you. I'm done.
story when filled out. This tune-up took about 2 hours. It helps to keep variables affecting combustion consistent so as to determine if the adjustments made were correct or incorrect. When the temperature changes through the fan, so does the amount of air being pulled through the front of the dryer. Air is necessary for combustion. When the exhaust fan pulls less air through the front of the dryer, the maximum burner output decreases as well. When this happens, the management should be disappointed. The temperature needs to be turned down by veiling aggregate through the dryer correctly. The payback is not only in production, but in saving energy. That extra heat being put in the atmosphere is now being put in the aggregate, allowing us to turn down the burner.
So here we're going through our summary. Let's go through the summary on this, and then let's talk.
Primary collectors are used to reduce the particle loading to the secondary collectors. Primary collectors capture the larger particles. Counterflow dryers need higher efficiency primary collectors than parallel dryers or drum mixers. Temperature indications are important. When comparing the bakehouse inlet with outlet, the temperature drop may be determined. Low temperature drops are good. Bakehouse exit temperatures should be no lower than 220 degrees. Cooler temperatures cause moisture and steam to condense. Dryer exit temperatures. For parallel flow, 10 to 20 degrees above mixed temperature. For counterflow, 240 to 260 degrees. Bakes deteriorate rapidly at 425 degrees. There are two methods of judging the efficiency of operation of a parallel flow drum mix plant. 1. Determining the differential between the temperature of the mix upon discharge and that of the exhaust gases at the same point. And 2. Observing the asphalt mixture as it is discharged. Mix and stack temperatures. If perfect heat transfer could take place inside the drum, the temperature of the mix upon discharge from the parallel flow drum mix plant would be equal to the temperature of the exhaust gases at the same point.
So I'm going to stop screen sharing here. And so I guess we get to see everybody's smiling faces. Rob looks like he may have had to duck out. Oh, there he is. Good morning. He's coming up for air. So tell me, gentlemen, wow, I can move these guys around? Guess not. I'm
Yeah,
seeing a grid of
If you
people there.
unpin them, you can move
You
them.
gotta hold it there. You can move it wherever you want. You just gotta hold it there for a second and it'll,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Now I just made Rob I just made Rob the top of the class. Way to go,
Kobe?
Rob.
Check your chat line. I sent you a chat.
Okay, gentlemen, this kind of tells us about what we did for production thing. We learned about the kind of things that's going to be affecting production. One is our bag house, the resistance that that does. One was the fact that we got moisture, and what we could possibly do there is just keep dry stuff coming in, just how you load it up, maybe if there's a way to drain that off. Maybe some people even put their stockpiles under a roof. I've seen that before, and I'm sure that's. Um, then we also talked about things about air leaks are really a big problem. So those are all some things that will affect your production. So when your boss is looking for more production, you say, yeah, we're working, we're doing everything we can. We're following all the rules. This is about what we're going to get. Anything you have to add, Steve? Or before we go to that point, Ken, is this what you were kind of expecting out of this class?
Yeah, it's about what I expected. It's nice to get all the input from different people that seen different stuff, and you pick up little things and confirm some of the experiences we've had too, by realizing other people have gone through it.
Okay, well,
So
great.
yeah, I like it. I think it was well worth my time.
Go ahead. How about you, Watson? What do you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I learned a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this to everyone running plant.
Okay, well, I'm glad that helped you out. I'm not sure you guys got a book. I really don't push those. Those things are something that your bosses have to decide to buy when they get it that way. They seem a little bit expensive, but these things are not printed. They're actually copies, and so they're color copies, and they're like 1,000 pages, and like they're 2 volumes. So there's a lot there. That you can refer to all those slides that you saw and all that narration that was read off there. All that text is there. So one of those things I think would be a good reference to you. As far as you guys at American, where you got 2 plants at the same site, one set of books would get the job done. So tell me, Rob, tell me yourself. Is this what you were kind of expecting?
Yeah, it's pretty much along the lines of what I thought it would be. I think it was a pretty good class.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad it worked out for you. Colby?
Yeah, everything, the bag house and everything like that, I went through that, but I mean, you put a lot of light onto why I'm having burner issues and everything like that. So I think it turned out pretty good for me.
What kind of burning issues you got?
Well, so like with the new burner and stuff, we've had freezing problems. I cannot honestly tell you what type of burner we got because this is the prototype, is what I was told, and they've been out to our site probably 8 times trying to fix that burner. It's just a headache.
Where was the freezing problem? What part of the burner was the freezing problem on? On the metering valve or up in the nozzle?
6 inches of time every time the drum rotates. Is that correct, Clarence?
Is you take a plumb bob, put it on the top of the flight up above, measure straight down, however far that is, a foot, 6 inches, whatever. That's how far each rotation is throwing your material ahead in the dryer.
Justin, how'd this work out for you?
I'm new to this whole thing. I started in August, so any new information is very helpful. So I learned a lot.
Okay. Well, terrific. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I think this kind of wraps it up. If this is all I got, and this is all, AJ, you be careful down there on your trip.
Well,
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you all for being here. We're going to be sending out a survey when you get to the end of what you guys are going to be doing. Fill that thing out, and then after that point, we'll send you a certificate for the amount of time of stuff that you had attended here.